Another big day of BLGS and, well, quite frankly, a lot of upsets. We've got to dive into this one because once again, you're seeing the Challenger Circuit wave getting into the finals and many pro teams and big signed organizations not making it into the finals. I always think this is a good moment for those of you that are trying to make it pro, trying to go big, because you realize from moments like this that your chance is very, very practical. It is very possible for you to get that opportunity that you're looking for, because you're seeing these guys that have already made it and they're not currently qualifying. So big stuff here. Hotic actually kind of said, hey, in honor of Wigs and Greeks BLGS and getting older, I want to help new and veteran players. Some of these guys may be in need of some coaching sessions after unfortunately not making it. Let's start it off with the EMEA scene, right? You go through nothing too crazy inside of group 3 for the most part. You see Alliance doing really good work. You see FaZe Clan, EXO Clan doing really good work as expected. Aurora kind of the same. Nothing big, nothing out of the ordinary. Navi as well. Danish probably one of the only ones I would have said, maybe a little bit of an upset here in 11th place. Semifinals, you also see NIP doing really good, bouncing back huge from last week. So good to see from NIP. Also, once again, though, Alliance, many others just looking like their normal selves. EXO Clan, unfortunately, was eliminated. Gaming Gladiators was eliminated. And Noctum also was eliminated. So then we go into group 2. Aurora looking good as always. Navi and Co. But then you see some Forbidden, right? Another pro team that we are very, very aware of. These guys have been around for a bit. Forbidden not looking too hot here in 18th. Nemesis as well. Phoenix Legacy with Sabson. So anyhow, it is noteworthy that some of these were upsets, but not too bad here for, definitely nothing on the lines of NIP getting day 1. That was obviously really, really bad. But on this go round, much more of a normal scenario for the EMEA scene. Now we go into the North American scene. Things got a little dicey here. So we started off inside of round 4 today. And don't forget, finals are going to be on a Tuesday, not tomorrow, or not today. Technically, it'll be tomorrow, I should say. Moist Esports, once again, back-to-back tournaments. They're looking dominant. They're looking hot. All these group stages, they're looking good. One thing I've noticed about Moist is you see many teams out there that dominate in group stages, but whenever they get into a heavy hitting finals, they choke. That's not Moist. So Moist is dominating in groups. They look good in groups, and then they're winning last week's finals. They're looking good throughout so far. So round 4 went very well for Moist. A couple others as well. Unfortunately, you do see Gucky not qualifying. This is a team that was in the finals last go round. They've been in a lot of BLGS scrims. Ape Gang also not qualifying here. We go to group 2. Stallions looking great. Elevate looking great. Tripods looking great. Status Quo looking great. A lot of these teams we know and love looking pretty good. Then you go into group 3, and this is where a lot of these storylines start to develop. Last week I made mention that NRG is one team that will show up and dominate, and boy did they do that. But you'll see very soon that it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. NRG, Furia in the top 3, Bleed also in 4th here. Purple Slushy obviously been playing a lot. A Native Gaming barely getting by. That's what Snipe Down and Stunny. Those guys did get upsetted last week, so unfortunate, or good thing that they didn't necessarily get upset in round 4, but we'll talk more about that one in just a second. More spoiler alert. Also, Liquid Alienware sadly getting upset here down in round 4. This is not good, and it sucks because I think that Nizel and Jaguarez are one that really, really know what the finale looks like. Kurev also in his own respective category in South America also knows what the finale looks like. But sadly, when they came together, I think a lot of people had their questions about this, right? Liquid parting ways with Yanya, that just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't sit right with a lot of people. And sadly, for the team that all kind of came together with this passion behind them, they're not delivering on the results that I imagine that they had hoped for. Also, round 4, Falcons looking great. LG looking great. Falcons obviously struggled a little bit yesterday, but not this go round. Yup, also up here in 6, Cloud9, Complexity, TSM barely gets through. Ping Wingman also making it through. A lot of these guys that are Challenger Circuit players but have had Pro League experiences before. But round 4 really wasn't too much of an upset here. Obviously, there are some people that have made the finals before that didn't make it this go round, but nothing too bad. Not a Falcons missing out or anything. But then you go into the next round. We go into semifinals and things got dicey again. So shout out to the Tripods because they have really been playing consistent here. Tripods in 1st in semifinals. Man, like they really are showing a different sign that we haven't seen, I don't think, in quite a bit. So shout out to the tripods. They're doing great. Oblivion in second. Dojo, we also got to give some love to, because this is not the Jin Burton dojo. This is still with Rambo, bro. Rambo is still kicking strong. We talked about him a couple of days ago. I think they are the real deal. I think Rambo is the real deal. One thing that Rambo is definitely credited for is that he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He does the small things right consistently. Not your crazy Jin Burton cracked out player, but he's definitely one that will probably bring a lot of value to the team. Once again, no surprise to see Moist doing as good as they did. However, things got once again a little sticky here at the bottom, because you've got Elevate barely getting by, Stallions barely getting by, Status Quo sadly missing out, Thugget's missing out, Redeem missing out. But this one wasn't where all the upsets happened. Round one, or group one, is really group two, where you had Complexity in first, Falcons, Bleed Esports. I mean, all the good guys were at the top, right? Furia's up there, TSM's up there, LG's up there. But look who barely missed out. Well, I say LG up there, but really they barely get by. They barely make final, just by a few points, in 10th place. But NRG, after dominating in round 4, they don't make finals, unfortunately. 12th place for them. Cloud9 also missed out in 16th place. Yup also misses out with Duplex and Co. Native Gaming also missed out. So many of these big names will be missing out on the finals. And sadly, I guess it was just bound to be that way. But that means you do have some Challenger Circuit players that made it. So let's go over the finals. Of course, Tripods, Oblivion, Dojo, Moist Esports, but Broskies is one who's been playing a lot of these BLGS scrims. They do qualify, they do make the finals. Doom also with Arcology. We've seen Zer0, Akimbo. These guys have also had a lot of experience and really some successful Challenger Circuit runs as well. We've also in there, we know them. Elevate, Stallions, Most Hated, Complexity, Falcons, Bleed Esports, but Ape Gaming also in there with Delroar. Delroar's obviously been around in the scene for quite some time. Big ups to Delroar for qualifying today. Blurple also in there. SLG with Luxford and Golden. So once again, a lot of these big organizations missing out. Purple Slushy also in there with Bullet L. I know he's happy about that performance, but anyhow, it just goes to show you your chance is definitely possible. We're seeing a lot of these big organizations get beat out. Also inside of the finals for APAC North, currently at the time of recording as it stands, is Reject Winity that'll be in there, Fnatic, Crazy Raccoon, Riddle Order, Reignite. A lot of these teams that once again, you love. Some of these rosters are also, incorporated in this with behind organizations that we don't necessarily see as often. So we'll see not only just for the new players that get their chance, but also for new organizations to make their mark in the scene as well. So exciting stuff. Obviously, over the last couple of days, there's been a lot of eyes on the Falcons, specifically because they did not qualify for finals last go round. They weren't playing with Zer0 though. A lot of people are talking though, was Hal in his best IGLing stage? Obviously, he's been one of the better IGLs in the world, but he hasn't IGL for quite some time. Do you get rusty being an IGL? Well, his very own teammate Wxltzy went on stream, and a lot of people were talking about this conversation about the dynamic of the Falcons team. Here's what Wxltzy had to say on who is the best IGL out of Hal and Zer0, and I guess as to why you would credit their success for this weekend. Roll the clip.
Who's the better IGL according to you, Hal or Zer0? I don't know why that's still a question. It's the most infuriating question that everyone still asks. Who's a better IGL? Like Hal or Zer0? The guy that Hal joined to IGL him? Like, what am I missing here? How does this affect Hal's legacy? Bro, motherfuckers love that. Bro, I don't know, bro. Everyone just wants Hal to IGL for, like, whatever reason. They don't want him to, like, be successful. They just want him to IGL, whether he's, like, losing or not.
Also thought I should make mention of the Nick Merckx roster. Obviously, you guys saw that he came back with Detox and Wxltzy. Nick Merckx actually did put out the most damage and the most kills for his team this weekend, but sadly, or at least on yesterday's performance, but sadly, they did not make it. They did not qualify. They had some good moments. They actually won one of the games in there as well. So we really thought Nick Merckx was going to make it into the semifinals. However, that didn't happen. They got put out in 13th place here with that Wxltzy Detox roster. So obviously more competitions to come up. We've got a lot to go, like 2 more events just for BLGS. And we also heard from Nicewig that this potentially will be a reoccurring thing. We'll talk more about that in a future video. But BLGS qualifier number 3, well, we should say the finals for this event will be tomorrow on Tuesday. Qualifier number 3 will be around Thanksgiving time, November 23rd to 26th. Also, the BLGS qualifier number 4 will be December 7th through the 10th. So a lot more Apex content to still happen. Interested to see what your thoughts are and your predictions down in the comments below. If I had to take a guess at who's going to take the victory for North America, I would have to say Tripods is one to look out for, right? They are currently on a roll. They are really looking good. They've done consistent in the last couple of rounds. Dojo's one that I also think that, like, you know, no one's really watching them, but I think that Rambo's once again doing the small things right. Will Moist Esports go back to back? I think it's possible, but honestly, if I had to pick one team or, you know, one team to put my entire life savings on, if I had to do it, I have a good feeling about TSM tomorrow. Not really sure why. TSM is one that has just been, they were in the, just remember before you say, oh, well, they barely got by in their groups today. TSM barely missed the winning championship for last week. They were on, you know, in first place, tied with Moist Esports going into that last game, and they lost the fight, the head-on fight there at the end game to Moist. And if that game had gone any different, TSM would have been the champions from last week. So do not count TSM out. I think TSM could definitely pull away with this one. But honestly, if we're just being honest, I mean, at the end of the day, there are so many good teams here. We know Falcons can win. We know Furia can win. We know TSM can win. We know LG can win. We know Moist can win. I'm pretty sure we think that Tripods can win after their performance the last couple of days. So anybody has a chance going into this. But if I had to put my life savings, I'm just going to throw a stab at TSM. But I do think Falcons will definitely be up there today. Honestly, I would not be surprised if Falcons wins. I've got Falcons TSM top 2 currently, if my predictions are correct. Moist, I think, will get a nice top 5. Furia will be in the top 5 conversation as well. But all of that could be wrong. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with all things out of the world of Apex Legends esports news. We'll be back at it later if things get crazy. And until the next time, we'll see you all later, Gators.